Hello, good morning. I'm just going to get this set up on my computer and then we will get started. And hopefully that'll give people a chance to jump on if they want to join me live. Okay, where are you? There we go. Hello, good morning, Sonia. Thank you for sharing as always. Excuse me. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. Good morning, Shams. I'm just going to hang out here with you guys for a bit before we get started. Good morning, Heather. You're on your second, so am I. I just made it. That's why I was jumping on like a minute or two late. Has anyone seen this mug before? It's new to me. It's on our supply list. So as demonstrators, we can order from a supply list of items. And so this is a new item on there, and it actually coordinates with one of our new suites in the new annual catalog. So I decided to unbox it and wash it and drink my coffee from it. It's much smaller. So like if I were to do coffee in this mug all the time, I'd probably need 3 of these for sure in a day. Good morning, Janice. Second coffee for you too, Sonia. Thank you. I'm glad you like the mug. Oh my goodness. Okay, I see some friends jumping on. How's everybody doing? How's everyone's weekend going? What did we do this weekend? Well, yesterday my daughter and I did our nails together. That was fun. I got this new gel manicure kit, so we decided to test it out. And I gave her a manicure and a pedicure. And I also did one for myself, which was nice. That reminds me, I better put some cream on my hands because they're looking a little dry. So yeah, we did manicures. We cleaned the house. So Friday evening, we did we either call it a 10-minute tidy or a 30-minute tidy. So if it hasn't been done for a while, it requires 30 minutes times 5 people. So all 5 of us, myself, my husband, and my 3 kids, we set a timer, and then for 30 minutes, we all just like picked an area of the main floor and cleaned it. So I know that's riveting and exciting, but it felt so good to just have the house clean and not have to do it all myself. So I kind of maybe threatened that they couldn't play video games if they didn't participate. So we had a lot of buy-in, obviously. Good morning, Margaret Ann. Hello, Aviva, Denise. Happy Sunday, Janice. What's up on the creative block you want to know? So I'll tell you what I'm going to be doing so that you know what to expect. Thank you for sharing, Heather. So I'm going to just share a couple of little tidbits, and then we're going to get right into the crafting. I'm going to be creating with the Pretty Perennials Stamp Set. So you guys have seen me create with this before. I absolutely love it. This was Dina Raikow's $1 million set. So every time someone hits 1 million in sales, they get to design a stamp set with the designers at home office. And this was Dina's. And so when this came out, like we were all smitten by it, loved it, still love it. But this is actually retiring with our mini catalog at the end of June. So I wanted to get some use out of this. And I'm also going to be showing you the card that I'm going to be showing you is something that you could do with just stamps, ink, and paper. So I will not be using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine at all for this card. And if you don't have this stamp set, obviously if you want to get it, you can do that in my online store. But if you wanted to if you had a different type of stamp set in your arsenal that you wanted to use, you can do the same type of card design with almost any stamp set that has images in it. Good morning, Joy. Yes, Shams, I know you love this stamp set. Good morning, Nicole. Thank you for joining, my friends. Okay, yes, you did win this during my bingo. We used this for my bingo, and I'm actually going to show the bingo projects because it's always nice to see other things that you can do with a particular stamp set. So I'm going to give you guys a little bit of inspiration with a project that we did at my Stampin' Bingo, and then we'll get started with the crafting. Thanks for joining me, everyone. Hello, Joy. Okay, so I guess, I don't know, is there anything else we need to talk about? Do you guys all have coffee with you? I'm on number 2. I got up super early today. I think I say this every weekend, but I actually set my alarm for 6:30. So I do wake up early generally, and I'm okay with that because I like the quiet before everybody else gets up. But this morning I had set my alarm for 6:30 and I got up at, I think it was 6:05. I don't know why, just my eyes opened and I couldn't go back to bed. So I think coffee is going to be necessary today to get through the day. But yeah, okay. I don't know what's happening with my computer, but I can see comments. So I'm going to flip the camera down and then we will get started. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things and then we will get going, okay? So let me just flip this down. Woo! That's not good. Okay. And hopefully everything looks, hopefully you can see everything. Let me just tighten that a little bit. Good morning, Barb and Nicole. Enjoy your coffee. Okay. I think that's good. I'll try and stay on screen. I don't know. I just have this tendency. I bring everything really close to me. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the May All-Star Tutorial Bundle. So what, for those of you that aren't familiar with this, every month I am part of a tutorial group where we have a bundle or a suite of products that we decide to design with. And there are 12 different demonstrators from all over the world, including the United States, Australia, New Zealand, United Kingdom, Canada, obviously. And so it's a great group of demonstrators and we all design a project. So what's really nice about this is that you get lots of different inspiration using one particular bundle or one set of products, which is really nice, especially if you, you own the bundle and you're like, I'm just stuck. I don't know what to do with it. I don't know what to design. And you just want some ideas and inspiration. Then the tutorial bundle is awesome. So you can actually purchase this tutorial for $20, I believe it is, or $19.50 per month. So you can actually purchase this and then I would send you the PDF, which has 12 video tutorials as well as a PDF with photos, supply lists, measurements in both imperial and metric. And so it'll just give you kind of everything that you need to get started. And then of course you can substitute if you don't have the exact products that we've used. And if you place an order through my online store and it's $50 or more, you're actually going to get this tutorial for free. So that's always really good value to get things for free. You'll also get an embellishment from me. You'll get another tutorial bundle, which is part of a different group that I'm in. And then you'll also get a handmade card. Okay, so lots of value if you place an order in my online store. I will link that up in the description. For those that are monthly subscribers, you should have received this in your email this morning. Denise, I think it should be in your email, hopefully. If not, let me know. Okay, so let me show you what we are going to be playing with today. So in our mini catalog, this is our January to June mini catalog. This is actually going to be, the catalog period ends on June 30th, 2021, okay? So although our annual catalog is retiring in 2 days, or tomorrow I think is the last day to order from our annual catalog. This catalog will go until June 30th. So the set that I mentioned we're using is the Pretty Perennials, and you'll find that on page 31 of our mini catalog. You can also find this online in my online store. And this also coordinates with a set of dies, okay? So they're called the Pretty Perennials dies. These are not going to be used on the card today, but if you have them and wanted to use them to just add some extra detail and dimension, you can absolutely do that. So there are 23 dies in here. Some of them will actually cut out the images in the set. So this one here, if you play around with it a little, it'll cut out the larger flower. And then we've got dies that will cut out these smaller ones as well. And then there are some of these outline ones, which you can just add onto your flowers and, do whatever makes your heart happy. So let me put this away. The other thing I wanted to show you in the catalog is which design kind of inspired my creation. So I mentioned this before, and I say it all the time, that our catalogs are like idea books, okay? So there's lots of different inspiration, ideas, color combos, layouts. You can copy cards right out of the catalog. So it's not just a place where you shop from, it's also a place where you can look for ideas. So it's a great resource. And I actually hold on to all my catalogs. I never get rid of them because I just look back on them sometimes for ideas with a particular stamp set or if I want a layout. So this layout here, it's on page 59, is a card that is done with Enjoy the Moment stamp set. You can just see that they've stamped on the background here. The sentiment is in the middle, and then there is a piece of designer series paper behind. And so that's kind of the basic layout. So that's the layout that I'm going to be doing with my card today, and I will show it to you briefly. But I just wanted to show you that that's kind of a really great way to get some inspiration, is to just look for layouts. So this is the card that I'm going to be showing you. And again, you can see that we've used the Pretty Perennials, and I've just used some new in colors. So I've got the Fresh Freesia and the Pale Papaya, and then I used the Soft Succulent. On the card that I'm going to be showing you on today's tutorial, I'm actually going to be substituting the Soft Succulent with Pool Party. And these three colors are actually the color combo that I used for my project in the ice cream tutorial. So I loved the colors together and decided I would use that again. So that is it, and I'm going to walk you through and tell you some of the new products and some of our existing products that we have, and just show you how to make the card. So hopefully this layout will inspire you to try something similar. I've got some measurements here, so I'll leave that there for a moment and just walk you through what you need for this card. So I've got a card base. This is in Fresh Freesia, and it measures 5.5 by 8.5, and then it's scored at 4 1/4. And the scoring, I always use my Stampin' Trimmer to do the scoring on here. It's definitely a handy tool to have. Then I've got another layer here that measures 4 by 5 1/4. So it's 1/4 of an inch smaller. I'm just gonna actually burnish this. All right, so I'm just going to burnish that with my bone folder. And so that's my card base. And then I'm using a layer that measures 4 by 5 1/4, as I mentioned. Okay, so that's listed right here. Then I've got a piece of designer series paper. Now you might or might not recognize this. This is from our new Pansy patch designer series paper. Pansy Petals, my apologies. And I'll just show you some of the patterns in here. What I love about this is if you're a fan of pansies, you're going to love this pattern of the paper, this side of the paper. We've got one that has just these gorgeous shades of green leaves, which I think is just stunning. Then we've got these little itty bitty pansies in lots of different colors, and then these larger ones. And these can actually be die cut with the dies that coordinate with this bundle. And then I think there might be 1 or 2 more patterns. So then we've got this one here, and I'm missing one, which is it. I might have used it all. I was using one for swaps. I'm not quite sure. Do I have 6 here? No, I have 5. There's one pattern missing, but here's what I love about this paper is when you flip it over, there's nothing pansy about these patterns. So you can use these on a variety of different projects. So I like that there's one little polka dot one. This one here has little tiny flowers on it. And then we've got the gingham pattern on the back. There is one more. I don't have it. I must have used all of it on another card. I did some swaps with my team and I probably used it all up. All right, so this is the pattern that I'm using on my card here, okay? So I've got the gingham pattern in the Fresh Freesia, and that measures 3 inches by 5 inches. If you don't have a coordinating pattern paper, you can certainly just take another piece of cardstock and cut it. That coordinates with the colors that you're using. You can, if you have the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, you can do some texture embossing with that. I have to tell you a funny story about my embossing folder. Let me see if I can dig this up out of my recycling bin. 1 second. I gotta look for this because you won't even believe what I did to it. Maybe it's gone. Okay, so, oh no, I kept it, hold on. So I was filming my video tutorial this week for my All-Star tutorial bundle, and I was using, I'm gonna hide this so you can't actually see it yet. I was using the Tasteful Textile embossing folder, and while filming, I have no idea what I did. I've run this through the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine hundreds of times, and while I was filming the video, I actually cracked it. I have no idea how I did this, but look at this big chunk. It was folded over and cracked. You could hear the large crack sound on the video. I, of course, had to edit that out, and then you can see that it's totally bent here. So I should probably toss this. But I figure if I have like a small piece of cardstock that I need to emboss, I can use this while I wait for my new one to come in. But like total rookie move, but happens to the best of us. I have been stamping for 8 years and still make huge mistakes sometimes. Good morning, Jen. Yeah, good morning, Aviva. Yes, I love the in colors too. Keep commenting below, okay? Tell me what if you guys like this, or if you don't like it, if you like the colors or that sort of thing. Just keep the chatter going, okay? The next thing you'll need is a piece of 3.5 by 4 inch cardstock. So this measures 4 inches by 3.5 inches wide, and we're actually going to cut this later, but you need it for the stamping. And then I have a scrap piece of paper here for stamping the happy, okay? So let me grab I'll also include these measurements in the description. I did say I was going to show you another project that I had done. So this is also using the Pretty Perennials Stamp Set and the dies. And we did this for my last bingo, my Stampin' Bingo night. And we created or decorated a mini paper pumpkin box. And then we did some note cards and envelopes. It was a super cute project. And I just want to show you just kind of another way that you can use this Pretty Perennials stamp set. So we use the little note cards and envelopes. They come in a package of 20 and they're $9.50 each. So really, really good value. And we just added some of the Love You Always Designer Series paper just to kind of add some black and white with the pops of color. So that's one. This is another design we did. And then this one here was just lots and lots of stamping with some die cutting and fussy cutting. But I loved how the cards came together. And I love this color combo, as you guys know. So that's just another idea if you already have this stamp set of something you can do with it. Yes, the new in colors are amazing. So, so pretty. So we're going to be using 2 of our new in colors. We're going to use the Fresh Freesia and we're using the Pale Papaya. Now I am doing an in color club. So if you want to slowly accumulate the new in color products without kind of breaking the bank and buying it all at once, you can definitely sign up for my in color club. The information is in the events section of my page, and I will also link it in the description here, okay? So what that means is you'll get cardstock, ink, refill, Stampin' Blends, a Stampin' Rate marker, you'll get embellishments, ribbon, I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Designer Series paper, all included in a package, as well as a handmade card in that particular color of the month, okay? So it's a fun way and kind of like a cost-effective way, because you're not spending all at once, for you to get the in colors a little bit at a time. Okay, so let's start our stamping. I'm gonna go in with the larger of the 2 flowers I've chosen. So this isn't the largest flower in the set, but I think it's the second largest. So if you're looking at the stamp set, it's this one right here. And I'm going to stamp with some Pale Papaya. There's a little bit stuck on here. So I'm just going to stamp that maybe 4 times onto my piece of white cardstock here. Okay, so that's that. And then I'm going to go in with a smaller flower, and I'm going to stamp in the Fresh Freesia. Fresh Freesia so far is my favorite new in color. I thought it would be the polished pink because I adore pink, but I'm a huge fan of the Fresh Freesia. Maybe I'll do... So you want to just kind of cover some of the card, and then you can kind of add in... I'll add this in later if I need to. Next, I'm going to go in with my pool party. Good morning, Natalie. Thank you for joining. Look at that. I'm like right on the screen today. I'm super proud of myself because I'm usually being told I need to shift things. Okay. I should probably make sure I've got the right color here. Yep. So I've got my pool party here, and I'm just going to stamp this here a couple of times, and like that, and like that. So you can see that a lot of the space is being filled. Oh gosh, I didn't mean to do that, but okay, it's all good. And then I'm going to go in with my Memento and just add some of the centers of the flowers. I'm just using my black ink. This step is not necessary. The card will still look super cute even without it, but the stamp is there and I have the black ink, so might as well. Okay. And then you can see that we've still got a little bit of the white space. So you guys know I love to add a little bit of splatter. So I'm just using my black Stampin' Write marker and I'm just going to flick the brush tip against, whoops, the cap. Okay, so just to add a little bit of that splatter look. Has a little bit of a grungy look to it. If that bothers you, then don't do it. Okay, so while we are in stamping mode, let's do the sentiment. So I'm using the happy, and yeah, the sentiment can definitely go there, Denise. There's no mistakes in stamping, just embellishment opportunities. So I'm just going to stamp the happy, and then I'm going to stamp the word mail. And I like using the happy mail greeting because then I feel like it covers you. So if you need a card for a birthday or to just bring sunshine to someone or to say thank you, you can use the actual happy mail. Okay, now I did have, okay, hold on. So let's talk a little bit about fussy cutting. Fussy cutting is basically where you use your scissors to cut out a sentiment or cut out an image. So we don't have a die for this happy, but it's very easy to fussy cut, and I'll just tell you some tips and tricks for this. Okay, look, I've got ink on all over my hands. Hopefully that won't transfer to my paper. Okay, so you're just going to start and leave a little bit of a border. Okay, so I'm not cutting right on the stamped sentiment. I'm just cutting around it and leaving a little bit of a white border here. I really have like ink all over my hands. Hang on. This is going to end up not being good. It'll for sure transfer to my card. Okay. Don't know how I did that. Probably the black marker. Okay, so then I'm just going to keep following the outline of the happy. Okay, I'm not going to cut this whole thing because, so you can see I'm using, I'm right-handed, so I'm cutting with my right, but I'm turning the paper with my left. And it's not kind of like a snip, snip, snip. It's just slowly closing and opening and turning with your non-dominant hand. Okay, so hopefully that helps. It's really not that scary, and it's quite easy to do if you have good scissors. So I highly recommend the paper snips for this. I don't feel like regular scissors would really do the same job. The paper snips just give you a little bit more precision and a more accurate kind of cut, okay? So by the magic of television, I happen to have one already done here. And I'm going to just snip this out here. Whoops, just to have my little mail cut out. Okay, so now we've got our sentiments done. And I'm going to set that aside and hope that I don't lose it. And we're going to go on to cut our stamped piece. So this is basically like creating your own pattern paper, right? So if you have white cardstock or even vanilla cardstock and you have some image stamps, you can just create your own background here, and basically you're making your own designer series paper. But let's talk about how we're going to cut this now. So this piece here measures 4 inches. And so the 3 strips are actually going to be, 2 of them are going to be 1 1/4 inch, and then the middle one will be 1 1/2, okay? So I'm just lining this up here. So I've got my 1 inch marking here, and then here's the 1/4, and I'm just moving my cardstock to that marking there, and I'm going to cut that and set that aside here. And then this one here is going to go to the 1 1/2. So it's going basically right to the edge here of the trimmer, and I'm going to do 1 1/2. And then you can see here that this piece measures 1 1/4. Okay, so that's how you get the 3. And now we're going to assemble. It's that simple. All right, So I'm going to take my designer series paper and I'm just adding some seal on each side. You can certainly use, if you prefer liquid glue, you can use that. All right, so we're doing that, and then we're going to go in with our ribbon. So this is a new ribbon. This is called Woven Ribbon. It's a 1/2 inch thick, and it is in our pale papaya color. It's gorgeous, and there's a white trim on either side, and it's stunning. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to cut a piece that's a little wider than that layer, and then I'm going to add a strip of Stampin' Seal, not snail, and I'm going to just lay this across like so. So it's just going to stick to the back there. You can use the lines on the gingham paper to make sure that you're putting it on straight. Okay, so use that as a guide. And then when you're done that, you can just add that onto your card base. You want to put a little bit extra seal here just because you've got the ribbon. That's going to add a little bit of thickness to the layer, and then this will just help it stick down to your card. Okay, so that's that. And then we're going to go in with our ribbon and tie a bow. Okay, so to tie bows, there's lots of different ways to do this. I just start by creating a loop between my left index finger and thumb, and then I'm leaving it on the roll just so that I don't waste, and I'm just going to take the rest of it, wrap it around my index finger, and then you've created a little bit of a hole here, or an opening with your index, and you're just going to tuck that in and then pull that through. Okay, now I find those loops a little large, so I'm just going to hold the knot, hold the center, and then just keep kind of playing with it, making sure that your loops are the size you want them and that the tails are in the direction you want them to go. And then you just cut that on an angle, on a diagonal, and then it's ready to go on your card. That's not even. There we go. Okay, so that's pretty much it for the card, and now we're just going to assemble. So I can move this out of the way, and I just want to make sure that I've lined this up. You want to line up the pieces so that it looks like they're connected, even though they're going to be separated. I think that's probably how it goes. And then I'm going to cover that little boo-boo up. Yeah, I can put that up there. Okay, so start with your centerpiece, and then that will also guide you as to where you're going to put the other pieces. I'm not seeing any comments. I really hope that I'm still live, because we had a huge mishap with the Wednesday Facebook Live where I was talking away and all of a sudden it was gone. And we had to do take 2. Okay, so I'm just putting these, actually, I think that might be stuck down now. I was hoping to move it a little closer. Can I do that? Yep, okay. So I'm just gonna move that a little closer to the centerpiece, and then do the same thing with this one. I love our new Stampin' Seal. It takes a little bit of time to just kind of get used to the angle, but once you can do that, it's a really, really great adhesive, and is so good for gift wrapping. We use it for my kids' projects, and of course, paper crafting, card making, anything that you need to stick together. Thank you. Oh, I'm glad that you're into it. I'm a little traumatized now by the fact that my Facebook Lives have just kind of cut off midway, and so that's why I just need to check in with you guys to make sure you can still see me, still hear me, seeing the card. I think it happened 2 weeks in a row where my Facebook Live just cut off. But you guys are great. I know many of you will pop back on if I drop, so I appreciate that. Okay, so I'm just sticking that on here. Again, if you had If you wanted to use a die cut, you wanted to use white or vellum or any different color, you could absolutely do that. But I'm just kind of keeping it simple here, and I'm trying to show you a card that does not require you to use the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So for those of you watching that don't have the tool or sometimes just don't feel like pulling it out, this is a really good option. Okay, so I've got my Happy Mail, and then I'm gonna get my glue dots and we'll put down the bow. So I'm just going to make sure that that looks good. Press that down onto the glue dots. So hopefully you can see how you could use this design with anything that you have that has images and greetings. And the card in the catalog, they actually didn't even put a layer with the sentiment. They just stamped it right in the center of that piece of cardstock, which you could also do. So the last thing we want to do is, of course, add some bling. Thank you. Thanks, friends. I'm glad you guys like it. So I'm going to grab my Take Your Pick tool, and I'm using the champagne rhinestones. These are fabulous. I forgot to mention that this card was also inspired by my friend Annette Ball. We're in a Facebook group that provides like sketches and things like that. And she had done one in a slightly different color combination, but I just loved it. And so that has also inspired the card. So we get inspiration from everywhere. It's not, you know, I hear so many people say, I'm not creative, you know, I can't design and that sort of thing, but you really don't need to be able to. It's just being open to finding inspiration from different places. So for me, I would say my primary source of inspiration is the catalog, but I get lots of inspiration from many of you and other card makers, Instagram. Hang on, let me move that. There we go. Do I like that there? Yeah, I like it. So yeah, so you can get inspiration from anywhere. So if you're ever feeling in a rut and you're stuck and you just don't know where to start, go find another card. Just copy someone's card, copy something out of the catalog. Just if you have a new stamp set or something, just find a card in the catalog and copy it right out of there. So that's the card, and you know I never like to leave my envelopes naked, and I actually just don't like to leave you guys, so I'm just going to keep on stamping. So thank you. I'm glad you like it. Let me just grab my inks here, and then we'll stamp the flap. Okay, so I'm going to flip that here, and we'll start with the pale papaya. So I'm just going to go with the same colors that I used on my card. All right, and maybe one more off the edge here. Okay, so that's that. And then we'll go in with our fresh Freesia. And just add a few flowers here and there. And then we'll go in with the Pool Party and do these fun little dots. I'm not going to add any splatter to this. I think it just will look pretty on its own. We're just filling in some of the gaps here. Did it again. Let's see. Let's do this here. And then I'm actually going to do this the right way. Stamp it off and then go here. Okay, so there you go. You've got a coordinating envelope, and you can go in and add some of the little centers, and then it matches your card perfectly. And there's the ink again. All right, so that gives you a coordinated look with your envelope, and who would not want to receive that, right? Like, so cute, so fun. Look at that. I'm a mess. I probably put my memento right onto here, but you get the picture. So tell me this. I used two different colors. On this one here, I used the Pool Party, and then on this one, I used our new Soft Succulent. Tell me which one you guys like better. I feel like I know what most will pick, but I would love to hear. Thank you, Serena. Yes, it's such a rainy day. Today is a really good day for crafting. I plan to get lots and lots of crafting done today. I have to design for my stamp camp and my bingo and my, oh goodness, we have lots and lots to design for. You can't decide, Aviva? Let me hold them up a little closer. So this is with the soft succulent. They're both, I mean, they're not that different, but just this one is like a softer blue and this one's a softer green. So those are the two. Tell me what you think. Pool party, Teresa. Both are perfect. Some of you are so diplomatic. You just like it all. Liking the pool party one a little more. And you like the green? Okay. Soft succulent. Okay. So it's pretty divided. Okay. Well, I'm glad that you guys like both. You know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to draw a name to win one of these cards. So I'm just keep commenting. If you share it, you're going to get included in the drawing. So just comment below, and tomorrow I will draw a name for someone to receive this card in the mail. So look out for that, and I'll put it in the comments below, and I'll also send a private message so that I can get the address if I don't have it. So that's it, my friends. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys all have a great rest of the day. It's definitely raining lots here in Markham, and so that is a perfect day for doing lots of crafting. So I hope you guys get some time to craft and do things that make your heart happy, and I will see you back here on Wednesday. And by the way, if you do need any of these products, they are available in my online store. The new colors are not going to be available until May 4th. But like I said, if you want to join my In Color Club, you will gradually accumulate a little bit at a time and can play with it and not be overwhelmed by too many different products. And you'll also get some inspiration in the form of a handmade card. Thanks so much, everybody. I hope you have a fabulous day, and I'll see you soon. Bye.